starts right now.
All too often, we hear about children being removed from their homes after seeing their siblings abused or even sometimes killed.
It is something that scars a child for life. Our Daphne Gray shares the struggles community leaders take on when helping a child overcome that trauma.
Especially when it comes to an adult inflicting trauma on a child. That is extremely hard for the brain to process.
Clinical psychologist Dr. Lindsay Bira is referencing the horrific crime that took place Sunday, where 12-year-old Danilo Coles was allegedly beaten to death by his father and stepmother. Sadly, the pain of witnessing the beating will live forever in the minds of Danilo's siblings, who have since been placed in Child Protective Services. Dr. Bira says in these incidents, children may experience symptoms of PTSD in some form or fashion.
Having trauma early on in life can change how the brain relates to other people, which can cause relationship problems, emotion dysregulation.
People forget that kids who are removed from abusive homes, they don't just lose that house, their parents. They lose everything when they come into foster care.
CEO of True Light 127 Ministries, Sandra Adjacent, says their organization sees children and teenagers who had to be placed in their custody after witnessing another sibling's abuse or death.
They have a lot of weight on them. You know, they come in feeling guilty.
She says the best way they handle children while gaining their trust is keeping their environments positive and productive.
We want to keep them active and physically going because depression sets in when you're alone.
Dr. Bira added to help with the child's mental health in this situation is to seek support, whether it be through counselors or trauma-trained therapists.
We have to remember that these are kids. They're not statistics. They need as much normalcy in their life as they possibly can have. They deserve to be kids.
Daphne Gray, KSAT 12 News.
We have some new information about a fatal shooting on the east side we've been following since Monday. The victim is identified as 24-year-old Jamaria Woods-Price. That's according to the Bexar County Medical Examiner's office. The shooting happened around 5:30 a.m. Monday outside of a home on Longview Drive. That's not far from South WW White Road. When police arrived, Woods-Price was found by family lying on the ground with a gunshot wound. He was taken to the hospital where he later died.
Fire damage, a body found, and a homeowner unaccounted for. That's the latest from a home fire this morning. Fire crews arrived on scene just before 7 a.m. at the home off Misty Plain Drive. That's near Marbach Road and Highway 90 on the far west side. Several agencies, more than 30 firefighters on scene. Once that fire was put out, crews did an initial search of the home and found nothing. It was on a follow-up search that victim was found. Fire officials say the conditions inside that house why the body wasn't discovered the first time around.
But I was being told from the folks who were actually inside, and they said what they found appeared cluttered, and it gave them trouble entering the house, so they had to force entry, which in these types of scenarios always adds, it makes the firefighting effort itself difficult.
As of now, the Bexar County Medical Examiner's office still working to identify the body found inside.
Another road rage case leads to a man shot in the head. He was the passenger in a car, and police say that he is now recovering. Officers were called to the scene on West Commerce Street, where they found the 25-year-old man with a gunshot wound. The driver told police they were on South General McMullen near El Paso Street when they cut off another vehicle. That's when the other vehicle drove behind them, and they say that driver opened fire. So far, no arrests.
A one-year-old murder mystery one step closer to being solved. A man flagged down by a teen and then shot and killed. Well, now that teen, 19-year-old Augustin Medeles, is facing murder charges. He was arrested yesterday in connection with the murder from back on October 21st, 2021. San Antonio police say Medeles appeared to need help when getting the attention of Francisco Mendoza. When Medeles allegedly shot him, took his cell phone. According to the arrest affidavit, he died at the hospital. Medeles' bond set at $175,000.
The city of San Antonio on the verge of kicking off a long-anticipated job training program. It's called SA Ready to Work. City staff presented the basics of that program to council members today. City Hall reporter Garrett Berger tells us what you need to know.
Voters approved sales tax funding back in November 2020. Now city council members need to approve the contracts to actually get this program up and running. Given the broad support that they expressed today during a briefing, that seems pretty likely. Now, as of now, the city expects to have $183 million to spread around for the program, most of it going towards tuition. That's enough to get 28,000 people actually enrolled in certification or degree programs for in-demand jobs. The city says they hope to use other buckets of money to help cover tuition, such as grants or scholarships, with the Ready to Work program covering the difference. The goal being that participants don't pay a dollar for their own tuition.
That is the goal of the program. There may be some unique situations depending upon which training program they're pursuing, where the cost that is due is not sufficiently covered by our training dollars that we have allocated or the additional funding achieved by case managers. That would be the exception and absolutely not the norm.
If you're thinking of applying, here's some basic eligibility facts. You've got to be a San Antonio resident, at least 18 years old, who's permitted to work in the U.S. You can't already be enrolled in college courses at the time that you jump into the program, and your household income has to be below 2.5 times the federal poverty guidelines. For one person, that's a little under $34,000 a year. Now, city staff say they hope to start the intake process in April once these contracts go into effect and they've gotten a chance to ramp up. But you can already pre-register by calling 311. Live at City Hall, I'm Garrett Berger, KSAT 12 News.
All right, thank you, Garrett. Since COVID began to grip our nation, the federal government has paid healthcare providers billions of dollars.
Here in Bexar County, that number is about $224 million. One local hospital has received the highest payout of around $49 million.
Our Courtney Friedman finds out why.
Almost all healthcare providers have been impacted by COVID in some way, and those that applied were awarded money from the federal government CARES Act program. In Bexar County, those were hospitals, doctors' offices, mental health organizations, hospice and home care companies, labs, dentists, chiropractors, and more. We wanted to focus on where the largest payments went, to public hospital systems like University Health, which over 4 different payments received a total of about $49 million.
University Health has spent about $81 million so far on our response to COVID-19. So the reimbursement of a little over $49 million is certainly welcome reimbursement.
University Health's Executive Vice President of Communications, Lenny Kirkman, broke down some of the biggest expenses.
In addition to just under $34 million for increased labor costs, we've had about $7 million or $7.5 million for supplies. This is primarily to test people in our community and test our patients for COVID-19, and then another $6 million for PPE to protect our staff, our patients, our visitors.
University Health also runs the Vaccine Center at the Wonderland of Americas. As for other large medical systems in San Antonio, UT Health San Antonio was awarded $4.9 million, Christus Santa Rosa about $559,000. Private hospitals like Baptist and Methodist were not on the list. And in a statement, Methodist CFO Enrique Bernal said the system has no plans to participate in the COVID-19 Provider Relief Fund program and has repaid previously issued government funds. Courtney Friedman, KSAT 12 News.
To see the full list of Bexar County healthcare providers and how much funding they received from the government, you can find the story on KSAT.com.
New year, new parade routes. If you are thinking Fiesta, you would be correct. Today, the Fiesta Commission making the announcement for the 2022 Battle of Flowers Parade and Fiesta Flambeau Parade. The new routes needed, organizers say, because of construction happening along Broadway. This year, the parades will start on Main Street near San Antonio College.
This year's theme is Viva las Flores, and I think that that's so apropos because it, long live the flowers. And so hopefully we're glad to be back. We're glad to be with all the community of San Antonio, and we cannot wait to share the parade with everyone.
The 2022 Battle of Flowers Parade happening on Friday, April 8th, and Fiesta Flambeau, that will be the very next day. For a map of the new routes, you can check them out on our website at KSAT.com.
Happening tonight, we're going to be debuting a new live streaming show hosted by Stefania Jimenez and myself. The first episode of Breakdown with Steph and Steve will focus on 1 year after the winter storm. And is CPS Energy prepared for another? One of our guests on the show will be CPS Energy Interim President Rudy Garza. During our interview, he gave us an insight into the ongoing legal battle between CPS, ERCOT, and other natural gas suppliers in the state.
We filed 18 lawsuits, give or take, with suppliers all over the state of Texas. You know, we're still in litigation with ERCOT because we believe ERCOT made some fundamental mistakes.
The live stream debuts tonight at 7 on all KSAT digital platforms. You can join the conversation by using hashtag Steph and Steve. We'd like to hear from you. It's on all social media.
And as we approach the 1-year mark out from that storm, so glad to have days like today. Plenty of sunshine out there. And it's really kind of warm for this time of year, Adam.
Yeah, temperatures today made it up to the 70-degree mark, so it felt good this afternoon, especially with that sun on you. And what I like about this time of year is we still have the sunset during the 6 o'clock newscast, sunset 6:19 p.m., so it's still officially up. 67 degrees right now. Of course, clear sky out there, not much to talk about overhead, but we will have some changes coming this weekend, and we'll get into those details coming up in a moment. First of all, right now we're in the 60s to near 70, Bandera at 70, Port SA 65, 68 right now in Bulverde. And this evening, of course, cooling off a bit, temperatures down into the upper 40s by midnight, clear sky, calm wind, more of the same for a couple of days, but by Saturday, some noticeable changes. We'll talk about that in a bit.
Thank you, Adam. Are you in the military and looking for programs that benefit you and your family? Well, find out the ways you can figure out which programs are good and which are scams.
And we are taking another question through our Trust Index tonight, this time involving whether a $1 million federally funded program is purchasing things like crack pipes. We're running it through the index up next.
And let's check traffic before we go to break. And you can see right now 281 at the quarry. Slow going. I believe these are the southbound lanes as you head into downtown, the northbound lanes as you head towards 410. Actually moving along pretty good right now.
I'm Stefania Jimenez, and tonight we're going to discuss gun violence. If you've noticed an uptick, you're not wrong. We're seeing more of it, and our John Paul Barajas is going to show you how quickly you can get your hands on a gun. We're talking minutes. But this right here could help the situation. We're going to show you a new type of violence intervention, how local hospital staff is keeping gun violence from escalating. We'll talk to you about that and so much more. We invite you to join us tonight on The Night Beat.
We'll see you then. Thank you, Stefania. Well, the Biden administration creating a multi-million-dollar grant program geared towards reducing drug harm and hopefully saving lives. Our KSAT Trust Index team received a question from a viewer asking if the money is going towards crack pipes.
Arelicia Barrera helped verify that the information is true. And she talked to one local nonprofit that says while they have not received any of that grant money, they say these kinds of programs actually save lives.
$30 million are being invested by the Biden-Harris administration to support drug harm reduction services that include treatment, prevention, but also syringe exchanges and smoking kits, including crack pipes.
Less use, less burning, less spread of disease. That is what we're trying to accomplish.
Gavin Rogers is the executive director of the nonprofit Corazon. He says that clean needles, pipes, and outreach are evidence-based approaches that work.
It is critical. This is life-saving measures. A holistic harm reduction program is more than just needle exchange and cooking kits. It's about policy and advocacy. It's about street outreach. It's about case management and getting people into homes. And it's about peer recovery, counseling, and education to educate those clients in safe use, but also ways and forms of recovery.
According to the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services, the Harm Reduction Grant Program will benefit nonprofits and local governments to make drug use safer for those struggling with addiction, prevent deaths, and reduce health risk linked to drug use.
The safe pipes are to keep people from spreading other harmful diseases around the community and to other clients. And so those safe smoking kits are help to design the spread of harmful disease.
And while selling or distributing drug paraphernalia is against the law, there's an exception if authorized by the government. And at the end of the day, experts say the goal is to aid the treatment and recovery of addicts. Alicia Barrera, KSAT 12 News.
To see more Trust Index stories or to submit your own claims for us to verify, just scan this QR code on your screen or head to KSAT.com.
All right, let's talk weather now. Usually we're always talking about big changes that are headed our way.
Yeah.
Not so much this week. Things are calm.
We needed this.
Okay, though.
Yeah. That's good.
Yeah. It's a
And
fine.
hey, happy birthday, Adam.
Oh, thank you. Yes,
It's a Kasky birthday.
It is. It is. It's another one. Yep.
And that's also a
You're
good thing,
older.
by the way.
Wow, he's thrilled about
I
it.
know.
Yeah.
I wished him happy birthday earlier. I was like, oh, thank you.
Thanks.
Yeah.
I appreciate it.
I'm going to
Thank
get
you.
back to my work now.
Hey, I may be 40, but I'm as fun as two 20-year-olds. Never forget that, okay? Actually,
Is this when the dad jokes start happening?
No, they started a long time ago.
Okay.
If we're changing roles, is this where I go, oh.
Oh, and then stupid joke. 34 earlier this morning. We were just above freezing. And then 72 for the high temperature today. Beautiful, really. Del Rio, 77 today. Cotulla, 76. Even Pleasanton made it to 74 along with New Braunfels. What a day. Take a look at the temperatures in the big picture across the nation. We're starting to see the temperatures cool off a bit up north. Remember yesterday we looked at this map and there really wasn't much of a difference north to south. We're starting to see some cooler air plunge southward from Canada, and it's going to continue to happen in the days ahead, and we'll just get clipped by some of that cooler air for part of the weekend. So let's talk temperatures overall. Right now, mainly in the 60s, still though 70 farther to the west, closer to the Rio Grande, 74 currently in Del Rio. Kerrville 66, Gonzales right now at 69, along with Pleasanton 67 here in town. By tomorrow morning, we're anticipating temperatures in the 30s to right near 40 degrees. So New Braunfels about 37, Hondo 36, and Cotulla 41. Tomorrow afternoon, a lot like today, right near 70. And I think a lot of us will get into the lower 70s tomorrow afternoon. And then no big changes as we get into Friday, just a few degrees warmer at 74. The cold front hits early on Saturday. And that's when our temperature falls off a little bit. It's going to be noticeable, not a huge drastic drop like previous cold fronts, but we'll go from the mid 70s on Friday down into the upper 50s for a high temperature on Saturday. And then notice how we quickly rebound. I mean, 60s on Sunday and near 70 again early next week. So let's talk about that cold front. It's not even on the map right now. And there is one system out ahead of it, a bit of a swirl you see in the upper levels here over the Great Lakes. That's not associated with our cold front. It's actually the next swirl that'll be up in the Great Lakes dropping in as we get into tomorrow and Friday. More sunshine, more of the same next couple of days. And then Saturday early morning, that's when this cold front hits, and it could kickstart a few isolated showers. I mean, we're talking a 10 to 20% chance. And if we do see any showers develop, they'd be pretty light in nature and mainly dropping about a few hundredths of an inch of rain. That's it. I think the big headline with this front is going to be the wind behind it. And we're used to that with our cold fronts this winter. The wind picks up and it gets gusty, and that's going to be the case on Saturday. Anticipate wind gusts around 35 miles per hour on your Saturday, okay? As for those rain chances, only 10% Saturday, and then we get into the middle part of next week on Wednesday, a 20% chance. That's all we have for you right now. I wish we had better rain chances, but just not in the works at the moment. So tomorrow morning at 40, by the noon hour, mid 60s, in the afternoon, right near 70. So if you're planning the day out, just think of it as pretty much just like today. Okay, some long sleeves in the morning, but short sleeves A-okay, especially by the afternoon. We do it again on Friday. And then Saturday, you'll notice some of those changes. The temperatures are reset a little bit. 58 the high temperature Saturday afternoon, combined with a gusty wind up to 35 miles per hour. And then Sunday morning, it's going to be close to freezing very briefly. Then we'll be sunny and in the 60s. And next week, again, right near 70. How do you like that?
I like it a lot.
I knew you would.
Thanks, Adam.
All right, so you have to feel great for this guy. He worked hard, he's improved his game, and now he's an all-star, Larry.
He is, and it's been a bummer of a season for the Spurs, with their losing record. But Spurs, DeJounte Murray being selected an NBA All-Star is certainly a bright spot, and his teammates are very happy for him. And the Spurs, well, they made a trade today ahead of the trade deadline tomorrow. Coming up.
I was super happy. He deserved it. His numbers and everything he's done for us this year is obviously that he should have been an all-star, and glad he got that recognition, and I wish him the best out there.
Derek White is stoked that DeJounte Murray is an NBA All-Star in big board sports. The Spurs are underway in Cleveland, tipping off their 8-game rodeo road trip shortly after 6 p.m. The big news for Spurs fans, of course, is point guard DeJounte Murray making the NBA All-Star game as an injury replacement. Derek White has seen Murray's game grow a lot, and he knows DJ deserves this.
When I first got here, he was just a young guy learning the position. Pop expected a lot of him, and he expected a lot of himself. So just trying to learn the position, and then you just see him get more and more comfortable as the years go on. And obviously the ACL setback, but just continue to work. That's what he prides himself on, is just the work ethic, and it obviously shows, and I'm happy for him.
NBA players such as LeBron, Zach LaVine, and Draymond Green all showered Murray with love on social media because they all know he's an all-star.
You know, us as human, we got a choice in life. We could do it or we don't have to do it. And a bunch of people, show love, and I think that's what it's all about. Even with me, I love to show love, and it's for free. It doesn't cost $1 to show love and root for the next person. Especially if they're a great person and they're just willing to work for anything. Whether they're an athlete or working a normal 9-to-5 job. So. I received a lot of calls, a lot of text messages, and, I'm thankful.
The Spurs were part of a 3-team trade today that sent Juancho Hernangomez to the Jazz. San Antonio will get Portland shooting guard Tomas Satoransky and a 2027 second-round pick from Utah. Spurs and Cavs are in the first quarter, and the Spurs are up 18-17. We'll have highlights for you on the night beat. In boys high school hoops, John Paul II wrapped up its District 3-peat last night. They're your Taps 4A District 3A basketball champions. They beat Veritas Academy 69-27 to wrap up the district crown. And there's Matthew Cuellar with the lefty bank shot and foul. The Guardians are 17-15 overall and 7-0 in district. They'll close out the regular season Friday with San Marcos Academy with an eye on going undefeated in district for the first time in school history. Then it's time for the playoffs. Last night, the Alamo Heights boys swim team went back-to-back as Region 7-5A champions, and senior Connor Foote was a big part of the Mules' performance. The Texas A&M commit won both of his individual events, the 100-yard butterfly and 100-yard backstroke, by a combined 10 seconds, and he led off Alamo Heights' 200 and 400-yard freestyle relays. Foote earned Male Swimmer of the Meet honors, and he looks primed for next week's state meet.
This year, I'm really ahead of where I was last year. I wasn't going these times. I was going like 1 to 2 seconds slower than all these times before state. So excited about all my races, where I'm at in the season, and really excited to see what happens during state.
Alamo Heights' Elizabeth Walsh was named Female Swimmer of the Meet. You can hear from her and catch more highlights from the meet right now on the BGC page at KSAT.com.
Those mules can swim. Who knew?
Who knew?
Thanks, Larry.
Thanks, Larry. Our KSAT Q&A with Mayor Ron Nierenberg up next.
We are almost 1 year away from the anniversary of when those February storms last year took out our power and water for a lot of us in the KSAT viewing area. We are joined tonight by San Antonio Mayor Ron Nierenberg, and we're going to be talking to CPS Energy and City Councilperson Anna Sandoval coming up at 7 o'clock on our live stream, Mr. Mayor. And the big question I asked both of those individuals was, what did you learn from a year ago and what's changed? So I want to ask you that same question tonight.
Well, there's a lot, and obviously some of that is here at the local level, and a great deal of that is also at the state level, in which we are subject to the management of the state electric grid. But here at the local level, I think the most important lesson that everyone has learned is the importance of communication, timely information to constituents, to residents when there is a pending crisis, and then when we're in the middle of it, making sure that people have the information about such things as warming centers when there's a freeze happening, what we're anticipating from ERCOT in terms of potential outages, just making sure that there's accurate information flowing at every level of crisis management is important, and in multiple venues as well, not just simply through press conferences or TV interviews, but also through text messaging, through social media, and even door to door, which is something that San Antonio has employed throughout this pandemic and even during the winter storm.
Yeah, part of the conversation in the last year since has been not if we're going to see another event like this in terms of those weather conditions, but when. And you mentioned that communication. So would you push to make sure that if this happens the next time and we are in a situation where power is going out, water is going out, there would be some sort of heads up, some sort of notification to all the customers to make sure that they're aware of that?
Yes, absolutely. And first, we've already seen some changes at the state level, and ERCOT was already sending out some additional warnings about the impending weather. So that has improved. We need to continue to see that. At the local level, we have to start before any potential storm or potential disaster event, where we are working door to door to ensure we have access to residents who are in critical situations, so that should an event occur, we know who we're supposed to be looking for if their communications have been blocked or something like that. But also, throughout the storm itself, making sure that we don't take for granted that people are getting the updates. A lot of folks were just trying to get some peace of mind throughout the duration of the storm and throughout the duration of the outages, and it requires collaboration at every level. So I'm glad that those systems have been focused on. They've been improved. We were able to test drive them in many ways through the last two winter events that we've had here in the city, and we will continue to be improving those as they move along, and that goes for the state as well.
It seems like some of those changes we have seen with the first two cold scares that we had this winter as well. And we talked to Russell Gold, who's an investigative editor and reporter with Texas Monthly yesterday, and he said, we were 2 or 3 minutes away from a catastrophic fail of the power grid. But he also said he does not think ERCOT is ready. Take ERCOT out of the equation. Are you comfortable that the city, CPS Energy, and SAWS are ready in a communication kind of way this time around?
I am, and I've seen that focus at the countywide emergency operations center level. And so I do believe at the local level, they've focused on resiliency and they've focused on redundancy of communication. And so I'm comfortable with that. But the challenge remains at the state level. We are subject to electrical management of the grid at the state level. And should there be outages required because of peak demand or any other issues, that would affect our local community. And in terms of communication, we went from no crisis to deep into a crisis literally overnight without any warning from the state last year. And where we are now, there have been some improvements, but the overall winterization and efforts to improve the grid have been made without any kind of teeth or regulation. So we're in many ways in the same situation we were last year with regard to state energy grid management, but the communication has improved. And again, at the local level, I'm confident that we've done the work that needs to be done to improve communications and also winterization of our own energy utility infrastructure. I will say also, though, there are different kinds of outages that occur. And what we saw in the last winter storm was what we see every year, and that is wind-blown trees that are knocking down power lines, ice on lines that also becomes a challenge. So those kinds of issues are minor in nature. They need to be dealt with from one event to the next. But the overall grid management issues are still a concern at the state level.
Mayor, let's talk about a different kind of storm, getting people back to work and the local economy back on track post-pandemic. Hopefully we can say that soon. Talk about the SA Ready to Work program, because the city has its hand in some other workforce training programs. So what is different about this program?
I think that some of the chief differences of this program, number one, are the level of community involvement. This is putting employers who are actually the job creators in the driver's seat and helping us work with them as facilitators. The city's not doing job training. The city's not doing the intake. We are facilitating, connecting workers with employers. And what needs to happen in between that is skill training. We know there's a tremendous skill gap not only here in San Antonio, but across the country, where there are jobs that are available, but they're unfilled because employers are looking for workers that have those skill sets and credentials. So we're bridging that gap by facilitating the employers and the employees with this skill training. The other thing that's markedly different is the scale at which we're doing this. This is a generational change that's going to occur if this program is successful over the next several years, in terms of thousands of families that will be able to access employment opportunities through this skill development. And then the final thing I would say is that it's the success of a job training program, an education program, is not so much what happens in the classroom, but it's all the life events that potentially could be an obstacle for someone to complete. And so what this program also does is facilitates different nonprofits and service organizations that can help surround the individual, the participant in the program, and ensure that we're anticipating and overcoming obstacles, whether it's childcare or transportation or a financial issue that gets in the way of ultimately completing the program that would prevent someone from entering into that job successfully. So it's a comprehensive effort. It's a community-wide effort. And it's at a scale that I don't think has ever been done in the country, which I think shows great foresight by the San Antonio community.
San Antonio ready to work. Mayor, thank you for your time.
Thanks, y'all. Have a great night.
You as well. We'll be right back.
San Antonio is Military City, USA. That's because it's home to thousands of military men and women and thousands of veterans.
Filing for military benefit programs can be a long and sometimes frustrating process, and you need to be careful.
As Max Massey shows us, the Wounded Warriors Project is seeing a lot of predatory schemes that are actually targeting our military community.
30 years in the Army, retired in 2019.
After 30 years of service, Mike Stoddard is working to help his brothers and sisters in arms via the Wounded Warrior Project.
One of the nightmares that we tend to have to deal with is when a veteran or a family support member goes to a place that is doing unethical practices, and then they sign a contract or they get involved in something that we really can't go back and fix.
During this pandemic, there's been a lot of predatory schemes on things like social media. So if you are signing up or filing, there are two important questions that you need to ask.
First and foremost, you should ask the question, are you accredited through Veterans Affairs? That's the first question. The second question is, are you going to charge me?
Stoddard said simply, if it sounds too good to be true, it probably is. Veterans need to make sure they are protecting themselves when seeking assistance for things like filing disability claims, rating changes, or even pensions.
Texas Veterans Commission is great. They have offices all across the counties and all across. The most important thing is you go to somebody accredited. So your veteran service organizations, your state veteran service officers, or just, again, go to woundedwarriorproject.org.
Veterans can file VA claims on their own behalf for free through the VA. They also have access to numerous veteran services organizations. But if you choose to use an outside agency, it is easy to check accreditation.
If you simply just get on whatever your search engine is and type Veterans Affairs Accreditation, a link will pop up and you can type somebody's name or organization into this website and they will tell you if they are accredited or not. And that updates in real time.
Max Massey, KSAT 12 News.
All right, some good news if you like today. Sounds like we're going to copy and paste.
Yeah, some ditto days.
Yes, Control C, Control V. That's what we're doing here in the next couple of days. That's basically what it is. But that's just for 2 more days. And then we do have a cold front that you're going to notice on Saturday. Some noticeable changes with it. Otherwise, 70 degrees Thursday and Friday. Early morning cold front on Saturday. And it's a medium strength cold front. Not one of the big heavy hitters, but something you're going to notice, especially after being in the 70s. Our morning temperatures will be right near 40 degrees the next few days and then get close to freezing again by Sunday behind that cold front. But we're not expecting really much of a freeze, even 1 or 2 degrees above. Now let's talk about cold temperatures and the coldest temperature of the winter. Okay, we're going to compare the last 30 years. Your typical climate range is 30 years of data. So over the past 30 years, our average coldest temperature for the winter is about 23 degrees. So far this winter, we've dropped down to 21. The warmest in that time frame was 30 degrees. So that was the warmest low temperature of the winter. Now, we have to keep in mind, last year we made it to 9. That was our coldest reading of the winter. But the all-time low here in San Antonio, 0 degrees, set back in January of 1949. So we're actually pretty close to the climatological average this winter with that low of 21. All right, let's talk about the weather pattern right now. Quiet. Yes, very quiet. Nothing but sunshine in our sky. There's a big swirl over the Great Lakes. That's bringing them some precipitation. That's a weak disturbance, not associated with our next cold front. That's going to stay to the north of us. The next one in its heels is going to stay to the north of us, but it's going to bring that cold front just far enough south to clip us on Saturday and give you some noticeable changes for the weekend. Saturday morning, around sunrise, a few hit or miss showers could pop up. Pretty isolated in nature. We give it about a 10% chance. So not much in terms of rainfall with this cold front, just some clouds to start the day on Saturday. I think the most noticeable change, though, with this cold front will be the wind. We're talking gusts around 35 miles per hour throughout the entire day on Saturday. So not much of a breeze tomorrow or Friday. But then by Saturday, you notice how that wind forecast really jumps there. It spikes to between 30 and 40 miles per hour. And then by Sunday, you don't have to think about the wind again. It's just that one day on Saturday, as a result of that cold front, you'll notice that gusty north wind. It's something we've become accustomed to this winter, though, with our cold fronts. Currently, beautiful sunset, or just after sunset now. 67, dew point at 27, so dry air still in place. I do think by the middle of next week, you'll actually feel a little hint of humidity in the air by about Wednesday. Briefly, but you'll feel it then. Otherwise, temperatures 60s for the most part. Bernie Stage 57, Divine is 64, Hondo 67. Still Stinson hanging on to 71 degrees. Tomorrow we'll start the day near 40, and it'll be a cool start to the day, just like today. But by the afternoon, short sleeves, fine for some kids. Sunny, right near 70 degrees. Not much of a breeze, but more specifically, we'll be 37 in Uvalde tomorrow morning. Kerrville, Fredericksburg, about 34. Canyon Lake, 39. And then by tomorrow afternoon, we all jump up to about that 70-degree mark. So another comfortable, pleasant day, and even a few degrees warmer into Friday. So 74 the high temperature. Then Saturday with that cold front, not just windy, we talked about the wind, but a bit cooler as well with the high temperature in the upper 50s. And then we quickly warm up behind that front.
All right. Thank you, Adam.
In case you missed it, coming up next.
It is Wednesday, February 9th.
A shootout at an East Side apartment complex ends with 2 people wounded, including one person who had nothing to do with it.
The San Antonio Police Chief William McManus telling us that it started around 1 this afternoon. It was at the Rosemont at Highland Park Apartments. It was in the parking lot. According to the chief, a man in a black Camry was shot at by someone inside a car carrying 6 people. The driver of the Camry left the scene. The second car followed him, and that's when the gun battle began.
The multiple shots fired. One person inside that car of 6 hit 3 times. Another bullet went through a wall and hit a man in his stomach as he was in bed.
U.S. hospitalizations, though, have dropped below 100,000 for the first time in more than a month. That's according to the Department of Health and Human Services. That news coming at a time when states are easing up their restrictions. Several more states expected to drop their mask mandates in the coming days.
San Antonio police say they've arrested a man who was trying to flee after a crash early this morning.
Police were responding to a call about a carjacking when they thought they spotted it. While running the car's plates, the driver sped off, running a red light. That car went on to T-bone one car and clip another.
Turns out this was not the stolen vehicle, but the driver was still arrested.
The Texas Cavaliers announcing the finalists and the grand prize winner of the 2022 River Parade Art Contest this morning. Students submitted their interpretation of this year's River Parade theme, Texas Alfresco. All of the winners will receive scholarships to art camps. The grand prize winner gets Whataburger for a year, and they're going to be honored with a float in the Texas Cavaliers River Parade.
In just a few minutes, we are kicking off a brand new live streaming show, Breakdown with Steph and Steve. And Steph and Steve join us now live from the KSAT 12 newsroom. And guys, you are starting with a topic that affects every last one of us.
You know, Myra, that's exactly right. That's exactly what I was thinking. I mean, I don't think there was any person that wasn't affected by the storms last February. We lost power, then we lost water, and it's going to be the subject of exactly what we're talking about tonight in Breakdown. And first, Breakdown is something, I call it the 3 I's. It's an interview, it's in-depth, and it's hopefully it's interacted. So we hope you're interested in all of that. I added a 4th eye there. But
there you go.
But we're talking to CPS Energy, and if they are ready, if they have learned their lesson from a year ago.
So we're basically taking a look back because who could forget what happened last year, how many people were affected. But the whole point of this is really to talk to CPS Energy and find out, are they ready for another storm? Are we ready for another storm? Can our infrastructure handle it? So it's a big conversation that we're having, and we invite you to join us. Please use the hashtag Steph and Steve on Twitter and Facebook. Ask questions, and we'll get back to you that way.
We'll see you on all the KSAT streaming devices coming up in just a few minutes.